A-D-N.
It's HeadphonesNeil!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to HeadphonesNeil Reviews. I'm your host, as always, HeadphonesNeil, bringing you a shorter than usual episode for this week, just because I had a chance to rewatch the movies that I've seen before, just because I felt like it. I had the chance to finish watching a show as well, and then a particular video game, the one I've been playing, is now done. So I thought I would do a quick catch-up episode to run right through all of those reviews. So to start it off with Ironheart, I had a chance to watch episodes 4, 5, and 6, and overall, the episodes were good, but it feels like we're missing about half a season. The reveal of Mephisto was good, Riri's personal struggles were good, and all of that, but it feels like they stopped short of actually having any sort of payoff. My main thing, or the relating factor in all of it, is that the show is meant to signify the end of Phase 5 of the MCU and launch us into Phase 6. But with that being said, it doesn't really particularly do that well, just because we get we find out who Mephisto is and then the deal that he makes with Riri, but then that's about it. The guy who plays the Hood, I guess, is still under the influence or something like that, but it just feels like something is missing in the show, so it kind of feels like we needed another maybe 3 or 6 episodes to kind of present us with, who Mephisto is, why is that significant, how does he play a role in the universe as a large, even potentially bring on his origin story, or use Riri to find all that stuff out or something like that. So while the 6 episodes themselves were good, it just feels like the season is incomplete. So maybe we'll have a second season in Phase 6 of the MCU, but it's one of those things where it feels kind of like Captain America, A Brave New World, that it doesn't really bring us anything that connects to anything else at the moment, so it's hard to actually get behind it. So we'll see what they do in Phase 6 with it, but as of now, it was an okay set of episodes, and it kind of feels incomplete until we get more information. Otherwise, I had a chance to rewatch the John Wick films. I rewatched the first one because I was like, well, all of them were good, but I wanted to kind of go back to where it all started. And then I got to thinking, well, let's see how his journey holds up as far as all of the films back to back. And it all basically starts because Alfie Allen takes his car and kills his dog, and it's like, all right, well, none of it was his fault. Everyone in the subsequent films kind of tries to play it off as, well, now that you're back and working, it's like, well, he didn't want to be back. The Russian mob's son started it all, so if he had controlled himself, none of this would be happening. So it's all about trying to do what he needs to do to get back out. So all in all, it works out very nicely through all 4 films, and it does. So I do now want to see Ballerina, which I still haven't had a chance to watch, but I'll try and see if it's somewhere on streaming yet. It might be too soon on streaming, but I also haven't checked yet either. So with that being said, I do want to see Ballerina and how it ties into the John Wick franchise as a whole. I also haven't had a chance to watch the Continental, a TV miniseries, so now I do need to, and that actually refreshed my memory to go back and watch that to see what happens in that show. So all in all, the films are good. They still hold up. It is a good connecting set of 4 films. To the point where that's why it kind of bums me out that the 4th Matrix movie didn't particularly hold up. I mean, you can see what they're trying to do with it, but it doesn't hold up as far as along the quality and scope of what the first 3 films did. So, I mean, you can see what they're trying to do with all the different machines in the video game and keeping Neo subservient and all that, but it feels like the John Wick films did a better job of presenting all that. So there's that. So needless to say, so when I have a chance to watch Ballerina and The Continental, I will review those once those are watched. And then finally, I'm finally done with the gameplay for Doom: The Dark Ages, and overall, it was a very fun game. It takes us back to more of the gameplay style of Doom 2016. I did try to restart the gameplay for Doom Eternal, and it's one of those things where, even on the easy setting, or I'm too young to die level of difficulty, the initial levels still are pretty intense and hard to get through. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, I know what they're trying to do, but at some point you want your initial level something that people can at least get through and play, so they can kind of get a feel for the game. And so Doom Eternal kind of doesn't do that. Doom: The Dark Ages does. It does progress you into the various story arcs and levels and all of that. Granted, I didn't really like the Mech Warrior and Dragon sequences, but I liked the Dragon ones a little bit more, mostly because at least it presents us with a set of levels that's distinct, that serves a kind of purpose to the game, where you do need to take out some of the enemy defenses and guns and things out of the picture. The Mech Warrior stuff was fine as far as the Titan stuff goes, which is one of those things where I kind of feel like it's that while the first couple of times with the Titans was fine, it's one of those things where I kind of feel like the second set of Mech Warrior levels should have actually been gameplay against a Cyber Demon, because I mean they have this scope of the Titans built into the game, so if they do want to build a Cyber Demon character to fight against, they could have made one that's that big. But along that scope, that's kind of why I didn't like the Cyber Demons in the Dark Ages. But I did like the the fighting against that was good. They have more of a stomp attack and the guns and all that, but I don't know, it feels like they kind of short shrifted the Cyber Demons in this game. But I guess there's a codex or something that explains that Prince R, the main villain of the game, actually has an issue with the Cyber Demon race. So it's one of those things where that actually makes sense why you wouldn't see them in this game, because of that conflict of interest that they have. And now that the Prince is out of the picture, it's easier to explain why the Cyber Demons are in the subsequent games, because now they don't have the restricting factor that was blocking them from being as big of a nuisance or issue or bad guy as versus what they were in this game. So that actually makes sense, and it works for me as far as explaining that away a little bit. So not a good or bad thing. I kind of wish it was a little bit different, that either in the Mech Warrior, or use the Mech Warrior suit to have the huge Cyber Demons, and then make the Cyber Demons kind of like a Bane story or experimentation, where the forces of hell created this oversized OP demon, and then once you take away that contributing factor, now they go back to the size that we see them in the Dark Ages to begin with, and now you can go back to being a regular Doom guy and take them out and fight them and all that, make it a 2-stage attack along those lines. So maybe it's one of those things that will eventually happen or become a thing. So who knows if that will happen or not, but regardless, it was a nice fun game. I enjoyed it. I continue to want to play the game, and I'll go on to the next level and play more and more and more. So I recommend playing it. I will give it an overall grade of an A, and it does actually make me want to go back to play the original Doom games to tie in the scope of it, just as a continuing level. Like, okay, well, the Doom guy was part of this Dark Ages thing, he was placed in, suspended animation, and now he's doing the stuff that is in the events of Doom 1 and Doom 2 as a continuing story arc, as far as all of the events that happen in the continuing attacks of Hell versus Earth and their bases and all of that stuff. So with that being said, that's actually all there is for this particular week's review, instead of reviews and episodes and all that stuff. So as far as the next gameplay goes, I've started my gameplay for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Jedi Survivor as a sequel to Star Wars Fallen Order. So so if you are a member to the YouTube channel, then you have the first couple of gameplays available to you already. It'll be out on the regular feed soon, so one of the perks of joining the channel is to get gameplay episodes early, so you can always do that by visiting youtube.com/PatelN01. The website with all the social media links, past podcast episodes, and all that good stuff can be found at HeadphonesNeil.reviews. So as far as next week's episode goes, I'm not entirely sure what I'll have on there. Depends on what I have a chance to watch, but at the very least, it'll be my first impressions for the initial gameplay for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and kind of my first impressions on the gameplay and levels and all of that stuff, and then take it from there as far as what I'm planning to do with that, and then anything else I've had a chance to watch during the week by then. So that's all there is for this particular episode. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as I mentioned, the website is HeadphonesNeil.reviews. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/PatelN01. But that is all for this particular episode. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time.